Hello everyone, I'm NEFC and this is Blue Lions TV, and today I'm bringing you guys another video, 3 ways in which Conte can approach the second leg game against Barcelona on Wednesday. Just to start with the intro, Conte said that we must draw inspiration from Juventus' game against Tottenham. Conte said in the press conference that he's consulting with players with the approach for the game tactically against Barcelona on Wednesday. Now, to me, this is pretty positive when you think about it. In particular, Hazard has been very vocal about his unhappiness with how he was used against Barcelona. When Conte was questioned about whether he would approach the game similar to what Juventus did against Tottenham, Conte refutes it, saying his squad isn't experienced enough to approach a game like Juventus. But what does this actually mean though? Could our approach against Barcelona in the second leg be different from the first leg? Well, in this video, I'm going to be detailing the 3 approaches Conte can use against the game against Barcelona. What approach will Conte use in this game? Now, the formation for the safe approach is a 3-4-3 using a false 9 system, and that is Willian, Hazard and Pedro up front, with Kante and Cesc in midfield, with Alonso left wing back, Rudiger, Christensen and Aspi as the back 3, with Moses as the right wing back in this game, with of course Courtois in goal. But what's the tactical benefit at using this safe approach? Well, the first reason is the fact that with this approach we would be following the same tactical setup that we used against Barca in the first leg. The key to this system was that we were able to deploy our 1-4-5 formation off the ball, and this was done so Conte could 1. Have Hazard not defending at all in this game, and 2. We were able to then use our wing backs to then kickstart the press against Barcelona, and this is why we were able to nullify Barcelona's fullbacks out wide. Now, how did this work? Well, when we did use our wing backs to start the press, we turned into a 4-4-2 team off the ball. We did this so we were able to then start some attacking moves in Barcelona's own half, and thus the wing backs were able to get forward afterwards as well. But what were the issues of using this system against Barcelona? Well, the first issue was the fact that because we were only starting our pressing out wide in the wide areas, of course, with the wing backs starting the press by obviously man marking and getting close and tight to Barcelona's fullbacks, that meant that we weren't able to press as frequently as we wanted to, and it wasn't working alongside the fact that Barcelona's possession play is very slow and they do like to play in the middle a lot of times, so we weren't able to continuously press in Barcelona's half and obviously then start some attacking moves of our own. And because we weren't able to press in Barca's half as much, that meant that Eden Hazard was very isolated up front by himself, and most times our only outlet was a long direct ball in the middle to Hazard, but at the same time he isn't a guy that can hold off defenders and win balls aerially, and he was kind of wasted as the game was going on. This system was very effective at nullifying Barcelona. They didn't create anything in this game at all other than one Paulinho header chance and obviously Messi's goal, which came from a complete mistake in the second half. But the reason why it was so effective was the fact that we were able to close the lines between our midfield and our defence, those areas and pockets of space where Messi and Iniesta in particular like to play in, because when they do drop in those spaces, Barca's fullbacks are able to support the play, stretch teams and obviously get forwards. But the consequence of that was the fact that we were limiting the effectiveness of Eden Hazard, and in my opinion, your chances of getting a favourable outcome won't be as high if Hazard isn't being able to play in his best position and being able to do what he's famous at. The second approach for this game we could use is the Brave approach, and the Brave approach again is a 3-4-3, only we have Hazard, Morata and Willian up front. But what's the benefit of using the Brave approach? Now, the first benefit is the fact that Morata's role would be to act as the focal point in our attack. We would be able to have the outlet to hit long balls to him, where he has the chance to battle aerially for the ball and fight against Barca's centre-backs. Having Morata up front would allow for Hazard to receive the ball out wide, as well as Willian. Barca's right hand side is really weak compared to the rest of the team. There is no pace, defensively they're pretty weak as well, and this is the main area where if we have Eden Hazard attacking down that side, we can get a lot of joy against Barcelona. Now, the tactic would be to have Hazard attacking the spaces in behind where Roberto leaves them, and on the other side Willian can be doing the same thing against the spaces left and behind by Jordi Alba. Now, there's a benefit to this. By having our wide players attacking out wide and holding up the ball, this could allow for the rest of the team to enter Barcelona's half, as we would be able to push the wing backs forward, and thus, once the wing backs are forward, our midfield players have options on the ball. I felt Cesc was key at helping us transition from defence into attack in the first leg, and by having the wide players wider and obviously the wing backs pushing forward, that's going to give better passing distribution for them. But what's the problem with using the brave approach? Now, the problem comes down to Eden Hazard, and that's because Hazard would have to fulfill his defensive duties and drop back into midfield to make that 5-4-1 work. Hazard has a history sometimes, especially in the big games, of not fulfilling his defensive duties to their maximum. Case in point, the game against Atletico Madrid in the second leg, where he was at fault for both goals from Barcelona. Now, if Hazard doesn't do this, it will cause an imbalance in our midfield, and Barca could then stretch us centrally, allowing Messi to drop into those holes in behind and allowing their wing backs to get forward even more. And of course, giving Messi greater freedom is one thing you don't want to do. Hazard defending and attacking also could tire him out, especially as the team would probably look to him a lot of times in hopes of creating something out from nothing, so there'd be a lot of emphasis put on Eden Hazard using this approach. Now, the final approach Conte could use is the wildcard approach, and the wildcard approach is a 3-5-2 with Hazard and Morata up front, Bakayoko, Kante and Willian in the midfield three, with Alonso and Moses as wing backs, with Rudiger, Christensen, Aspie in defence, with Courtois in goal. Now, what's the benefits of using the wildcard approach? Well, the main benefit is the fact that Conte may feel it's too risky to have Hazard playing out wide due to his lack of defensive discipline. He may feel having Morata up front alongside him could be the way in using Eden Hazard more, as Morata would be that outlet for the long direct balls. With Hazard playing closer to him, that would mean that Hazard wouldn't have to battle against Barcelona's centre-backs. Now, this is where Willian would come into effect. The goal would be to have Willian attacking from deep to support the play, moving us from a 3-5-2 to a 3-4-3 on the counter-attack. Willian was very effective at utilising the space in behind, and he caused Barcelona so many problems in the first leg. They were never able to pick him up. He had tons of space to play, and he was able to play to his strengths, which is driving through midfield, and he was very effective in that game. The key to using the wildcard approach would be to not have Hazard dropping deep defensively. By keeping two players up, Barca would be forced to have to mark them with three to try and outman them, and hopefully we would be able to create overloads on the counter-attack with guys like Willian attacking from deep and the wing-backs getting forward as well. But what's the problems with using the wildcard approach? Now, the main issue is the fact that we could become weak essentially. Now, you might be thinking, but we've got three in midfield, but with how Barcelona play, with how they use their fullbacks to stretch the play and keep things wide, we could really stretch our midfield apart, and then that could give more joy for Messi to drop deep and create things. Another issue is the fact that we would be forced back quite a lot, similar to games against Man City for example, and the main issue is the fact that we aren't able to sustain any counter-attacking threats. That means our wing-backs get pushed back too much. We aren't able to get them forward, meaning that our midfielders have no passing options, and the only passing options they have in front of them are the two guys in Hazard and Morata, and if they're getting outmarked by Barcelona's three players, that means that the counter-attacking opportunities will be nil. There won't be any, and it would just be a case of us defending for our lives, praying that something happens. And there are still more issues with using the wildcard approach. The other one is the fact that it puts a lot of responsibility on Morata to be able to be that outlet to hold off defenders and try and link up the play, and he isn't very effective at doing that. And the other issue is the fact that it puts a lot of pressure on Bakayoko, as his defensive awareness and his positioning just isn't there, and I could feel that Messi would just have a field day. He'd be able to drop deep whenever he wants, and he'd find the pockets of space which he best operates in this Barcelona system. Now, what approach would I use in this game? With my approach, I would go for the brave approach, but this is a game where Conte's game management needs to be on point. He needs to make the first changes to try and force Valverde to react to him. He has to trust the squad. I say this because I feel if we started with the brave approach and then switch to the safe approach in the final 20 minutes by taking off Morata and bringing on Pedro, if the game is in our favour of course, this would give us the best chance at beating Barcelona. Our best chance to get something from this game is to be offensive. We have to attack the spaces in behind Barcelona's fullbacks, we have to press high as a unit at times as well, and we have to take advantage of the new Camp's pitch, because we've never had a team where we've had tricky, fast, nimble wingers who have pace, that can carry the ball at great distances, at the Nou Camp, and I feel that's something we could use against Barcelona. Anyway, you guys, that's going to end today's video. Please like, comment and subscribe. You guys, please help me get more than 500 likes to this video. The last video actually got more than 1,000 likes. So you guys, thank you to everyone that listens to me and smash that like button. I hope you can do the same thing again for this video. Anyway, you guys, I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out. Come on, Chelsea.